In the last lecture, we have covered the topic of pagination. What is pagination? Pagination is dividing the data into small parts so that our ingestion become efficient. But sometimes our server get overloaded. Why? Because there are multiple requests going in a same time frame, or it gets overloaded due to the server request from the same client. You have one server and the client hit the server around 150 times per minute, but server had the capacity of only 60 hits per minute. Then what will happen? Server will crash. Or it get overloaded. This is the common issue which we found in the production level APIs. Because there are many clients which are hitting the API at the same time, so there is a limit set for each IP or each client. Yes, you can hit the API around 60 times or 110 times per minute, or there are several other kinds of constraints to access the API. If you get this kind of error, then how to deal that? And before dealing, how to identify that yes, this is the error because server has been overloaded. 429. Whenever you get the status code as a 429, then 429 means there are too many requests and server is inefficient to fulfill your request. Or 503, service got unavailable. Whenever you get these kind of request code as a response code, then you understand that this is the error due to the server overloading. And how to deal with these kinds of error? There are two methods. First one is the throttling. Let's discuss this first. Throttling means we are limiting the number of requests given by the client. For example, earlier when we are getting the error, in each minute we are hitting the API around 150 times. But then we have reduced the number of hits to a number of requests to a 60 times. This is a kind of rate-based throttling. In rate-based throttling, in a given time frame, you have reduced the or adjusted the number of requests. Second is fixed delay throttling. Fixed delay, like for example, you have given the request one request, then the other request will go after 1 second. You add the delay of 1 second between the first and the second request. And third type is the adaptive throttling. In the adaptive throttling, you try to understand the system or the server, how it is responding. For example, you hit the API and you get the response within this milliseconds. And in the another hit, your response is gradually increasing. Your response time is gradually increasing. So you try to increase the API hit time. Like between one hit and the second hit, there should be an increase in time. It is a dynamic. In the above throttling, you identify like yes, we have to give the 2-second difference. But here, difference is changing based on the API response. How API responding? If API responding quite fast, then you decrease the time, hit time, else you increase the time gradually. Or if you getting any type of error, then you increase the time, then you adjust the time according to that. For example, you get the error 400 something, 429 or 503, then you increase the time there. So in the adaptive throttling, we are trying to understand the system response time and kind of response code it is giving. Based on that, we are adjusting the time frame. Now come to the code and we will try to understand the concept of throttling to a working code. Here we have the URL. This is the sample API which we are using, GitHub API. And to the GitHub API, we are trying to fetch the page data. We are trying to fetch the 3 page data. So loop is starting on the page 1 it will go till page 3. Params is the page, which page we have to fetch, first page, second page, third page, and the number of items which we have to pick in the each page, it is 5. Response equal to request dot get is the same which we have studied in the last lectures. Please visit the last lectures for better understanding. Request dot get URL comma params. Params is nothing but the which page we are fetching the data and the number of items from each page we are picking. The simple we are printing on which page we are and what is the response code we are getting. This is all same. If you have visited or if you have seen our previous lecture, then this will be quite simple for you. Now where the throttling here? Here we are adding the throttling. Between two pages we are adding the breakdown of 2 seconds or a wait time of 2 seconds. Why? So that our server get adjusted and it will give the efficient response without any kind of error code. Now second concept is the back off. In the back off, if you are accessing any server and while accessing the server there is a capacity overload in the server or server stop responding to you, at that time we have to dynamically adjust the API hit so that our server get adjusted to the API call and give the response in a efficient way. Here this is the same API which we have used earlier in the throttling purpose. Max retries is 5. We are trying to hit the server 5 times. For example, first time it get fails, then it will retry the server. It will do the same activity 5 times if there is any error. For attempt in range, max retries. Response equal to request dot get URL. If response status code is 200 is the success, then we will give the data as output and we will break the attempts, because if we are getting the success code then there is nothing left to retry the API hit. Else wait for 2 into attempt. 2 into attempt. Attempt is the number of attempt we are in which number of attempt we are. For example, at the first time your API didn't give you the response, it gave you some kind of error 503 or 429. The second time also it gives the error. In third time, what will be the wait time? Let's make the table here and try to understand this concept. We are running the loop in attempt. For example, in the first attempt, your API gave the 429 or 503 error response code. So, what will the wait time here? 1 into 2 means 2 second wait time. In the second attempt also, after the 2 second delay, it will retry the second attempt. But in second attempt also, we got the 429 or the 503 error status code. So API is not responding. Now the wait time will be 2 into 2, 4 seconds. Now again API not giving the required desired 200 status code. So it will be 3 into 2 wait time. This is dynamic. You have to understand your API and try to build this logic. What kind of wait you have to apply between the 2 attempts. And after the wait of the 6 seconds, API is given the 200 status code, means success. So what this concept is called? Dynamic concept. Because here we are applying the logic dynamically. Please subscribe our channel and like the video.